What is human body strength? Human strength is a complex topic that can be understood in terms of physics, biology and psychology. Today is biology time, so we will discuss sex hormones, which are estrogen and testosterone, and their ratio in both males and females. Hello, brothers. My name is Art. Welcome to Masculine Reflections. Today we'll talk about the nature of strength in terms of biology. No magical thinking, no woo-woo stuff. We live in a real world and connection to reality is essential for man. Now let's begin. Part 4. Strength and biology. The ratio is the key. Testosterone and estrogen play key roles in the development and maintenance of reproductive and sexual function and other physiological and psychological processes in both men and women. In men, testosterone is primarily produced in the testes and is responsible for the development of male sexual characteristics, such as the deepening of the voice, increased muscle mass, and the growth of body hair. Testosterone also plays a role in sperm production and sex drive. In women, testosterone is produced in the ovaries and adrenal gland, but in much smaller amounts than in men. In women, estrogen is primarily produced in the ovaries and is responsible for the development of female sexual characteristics, such as breast development and the widening of the hips. Estrogen also plays a role in the menstrual cycle and the maintenance of bone health. In men, estrogen is produced in smaller amounts in the testes and adrenal glands and helps regulate bone density and sexual function. What we are going to do here is to make simple calculations regarding the level of estrogen and testosterone in men and women, not to try to reveal some breakthrough data, but just to make an assessment of what we as men should look at when trying to normalize our hormonal balance. We'll start with estrogen. There are several forms of estrogen in both men and women, but the predominant form is estradiol. When estrogen levels are higher or lower than the normal levels, women may experience the following symptoms: higher anxiety, panic attacks, weight loss, breast swelling, bloating, formation of lumps in the breasts, irregular periods, low sex drive, mood swings, hair loss, trouble sleeping or insomnia, headaches, lower, lack of vaginal lubrication, mood swings, absent periods, tiredness, headaches, depression, anxiety, difficulty in concentrating. When estrogen levels are higher or lower than the normal levels, men may experience the following symptoms: higher, reduction in the sperm levels, erectile dysfunction, development of enlarged breasts, gynecomastia, lower, low sex drive, loss of bone mass, accumulation of fats. Now testosterone. When testosterone levels are higher or lower than the normal levels, women may experience the following symptoms: higher, irregular menstrual cycles, acne and oily skin, excess hair growth, deepening of the voice, infertility, mood changes, irritability, aggression and anxiety, increased risk of cardiovascular disease, increased risk of certain cancers. Some studies have suggested a link between high levels of testosterone and increased risk of breast and ovarian cancer in women. Low sex drive, fatigue, lack of motivation, decreased muscle mass, mood swings, depression, anxiety, decreased bone density, irregular periods, or a complete absence of menstruation. When testosterone levels are higher or lower than the normal levels, men may experience the following symptoms: higher acne, spikes of aggression, mood changes, sleep-related disorders, increased risk of heart disease, prevalent in older men, enlarged prostate, urinary tract issues, low sex drive, erectile dysfunction, decreased muscle mass, fatigue, decreased bone density, mood swings, irritability, depression, reduced sperm production, infertility. What are normal estradiol levels in men and women? Estrogen levels in women vary throughout the menstrual cycle, with the highest level occurring during ovulation and the lowest level occurring during menstruation. Also, they differ in pre- and postmenopausal periods. For premenopausal women, it's about 4 to 35 nanograms per deciliter. For postmenopausal women, it's about 1 to 4 nanograms per deciliter. For men, it's about 1 to 4 nanograms per deciliter. As you can see here, postmenopausal women have a similar amount of estradiol to what normal men have. What are normal testosterone levels in men and women? 15 to 70 nanograms per deciliter for women, 300 to 1000 nanograms per deciliter for men. Quite the difference. As you can see, low levels of both estrogen and testosterone are pretty similar in men and women, with obvious sex-related differences. However, since the rise of feminism, we can see straightforward signs that most people, both men and women, show problems associated with hormonal imbalances and changes in their behavior, which normally should have appeared in the later periods of their lives. For example, from the levels of estrogen I have mentioned, postmenopausal women should adopt more man-like behavior, but instead, what we can see is that younger men today adopt the behavior of premenopausal women with mood swings, anxiety, depression, and low sex drive. Is this normal? You tell me. However, we have reached the final part of my message for today. Now simple math for highest and lowest ratio in testosterone versus estrogen in men and women. Testosterone to estrogen level ratio in premenopausal women. Mean test to mean est 3.75, max test to max est 2, mean test to max est 0.42, max test to mean est 70. Testosterone to estrogen level ratio in men and postmenopausal women. Mean test to mean est 300, max test to max est 250, mean test to max est 75, max test to mean est 1000. Just look at these numbers. Of course, these ratios are not something you should compare your own numbers with, but just think for a minute about that difference. Ratio between testosterone versus estrogen varies from 0.42 to 70 in women and 75 to 1000 in men. Now compare these results with what you see around you: feminine women, masculine men, masculine women, and feminine men. Now when you see them, you will remember these numbers: hypermasculine man 1000, hyperfeminine women 0.42, masculine women 70, feminine man 75. Again, these numbers are not something you should be trying to reach and do not represent reality. These numbers represent the ages of the spectrum, and they are here for you to understand that the behavior for men and women can be put in relation with numbers. Of course, there are more forms of estrogen that add to the equation, so the ratio numbers are a bit different in real life. But at least now you understand what distinguishes Chad from you, or you from shrimps, unless you are a shrimp. Now you understand why male thousanders bully male 75ers, because they feel a much greater amount of strength, aggression, and competitiveness. Now you know why female 0.42s fall for male thousanders and despise or ignore male 75ers. Now you know why single, strong, and independent female 70s despise male 75ers and hate male thousanders. It's overwhelmingly mind-boggling. Now you understand why you have depression and why working out helps to fight it. I dare you to check all your friends and family members and try to presume what T to E ratio they have. If this doesn't make you start working out, I don't know what will. If you want to know more about yourself, check your T to E ratio and make the necessary adjustments in your routines, or prepare for destructive consequences that will slowly ruin your life. Now meditation.